What's up, guys? It's Beginner Moto here, and I'm in the garage waiting for my friend to show up. We're going for a little ride today in the mountains in Southern California, and I'm taking my 2015 GSXR 750. It has very minimal rider aids, no ABS, no traction control. I added a quick shifter onto the bike, but it's got selectable ride modes, and that's it. And what I want to talk about today is rider aids, because I see a lot of people talk about rider aids on new bikes, and they kind of talk about it like they're a bad thing to add on a motorcycle, and they'll talk about saying like, oh, this bike isn't as good because it has traction control and ABS and all that stuff. And I would honestly want to make the case that I think that's bullshit. I think that bikes having electronic rider aids is better for motorcycling as a whole because they make bikes safer. And it's not to say that, you have to have it on a bike, and if a bike doesn't have it, it's not rideable, because obviously I'm taking my GXR 750 out right now. But I have bikes like, I got my 2023 S1000RR, I got my 1290 Super Adventure, I got a Super Duke right here, S1000XR, and those bikes, when I ride them, they feel amazing. Like, there is no reason to say, hey, this bike is worse because it has a rider aid. And I think a lot of times when people are saying that, they're comparing the rider aids that came on bikes back in like 2010 or 2008, whatever. Maybe they rode the first version of an R1 that had traction control on it, they didn't like it, and then they're just like, oh, traction control sucks. But when you ride a bike that has modern electronics on it, you don't even know they're there. And you don't know they're there until you need to know that they're there, if that makes sense. I was just messing around on the Super Duke the other day. This bike has a Supermoto ABS mode, and I'm just out in front of my house, just trying it out. I'm just mashing on the brakes just to see what happens when the ABS triggers. It is absolutely incredible what these systems can do nowadays. It will let you do a full stoppie and endo the bike, but it goes and does just enough to where you're able to stop in the shortest distance possible. You can go and slam on the rear brake, and you can initiate a slide on the bike, and it'll slide just enough, and you feel it to where it'll release the brake pressure so that you're able to go and get your rear tire control back again. And it just lets you do all that, no fuss. It does it consistently. It's crazy to me that people are going to look at that and say, that bike is worse because it has something like that on there. And on a lot of these bikes, you could just turn it off. There are some, like my Yamaha MT-03 over there, the ABS on there, it's on all the time. You'd have to pull the fuse out. But again, this is just like a little beginner cruiser bike, like a naked bike. I'm not really even talking about stuff like that. When you're talking about these top spec bikes that are pumping out 200 horsepower, they need to have these electronic systems in place because they just have so much power, they're hard to handle. And I think just having them and knowing that they're there, you ride differently because you know that this bike is safer to handle. It's just a more enjoyable reason to ride them. And another thing that just really grinds my gears when people talk about, I don't like electronics on bikes. Okay, but you put on the latest fucking tire on the bike, right? Are you riding around on your 2005 CBR 1000 with a tire from 2005? No. You're using a latest Michelin Power 6 or Michelin Road 6 or a Bridgestone S23, which is the modern tire technology that was made and is going to make your bike handle better, brake better, all this shit. But they're going to say, oh, I don't like all this technology on bikes. Well, why do you have high technology tires? Why do you have that? If anything, I would think that having the latest and greatest tire technology is probably going to do way more than any ABS system, any traction control system, any of that stuff, because that's what connects you to the road. If you have a tuned suspension system and you have latest and greatest tires, you are using freaking technology to your advantage. Why focus so much on the computer? So that's all I have to say today, guys. This is just me ranting. It's something that just really pisses me off in the riding community because it's just there's so much ego that's wrapped up into riding that it's I feel like it's just a way that just we as dudes, we got to feel like we got to flex on another dude. Another dude has a really nice bike. They got a new freaking 2025 Panigale V4. And you know what? Fuck that bike because, my bike doesn't have any electronic aids. And, his bike is riding him. He's not riding the bike. So that's all it is, man. I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. Go out there, enjoy the bike you're riding. Even if it has electronic aids or it doesn't, it's still go out and have fun. They're all fun bikes. At the end of the day, they're all fun bikes. It's the end of the rant. Beginner Moto out. Take care, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace.